What's in a name? Well, apparently a lot, including a judge's ruling. As we reported yesterday, a Tennessee family magistrate shocked the parents of a newborn when she decided his name was inappropriate. Their choice of name for their son was Messiah Deshaun Martin, but the judge changed it to Martin Deshaun McCullough. Judge Luann Ballou said the word Messiah is a title, and it's a title that has only been earned by one person, and that one person is Jesus Christ. It could put him at odds with a lot of people, and at this point, he has had no choice in what his name is. Well, to help explain this bizarre situation and what has happened here, our guests are family law attorneys Jacqueline Newman, and joining us via Skype from Memphis is Linda Black, who's also a professor at the University of Memphis School of Law. Welcome to both of you, ladies. I do appreciate it. I want to start with Linda, if I may, because you're there in Tennessee. Can you sort of explain the legality of how a judge is able to change the name that a parent has given their child?
Well, I'm not sure that I can explain the legality. I can explain how this particular situation arose. The parents were before Magistrate Ballou because they could not agree on the child's last name. The mother's last name is Martin. The father's last name is McCullough. The parents agreed that the child's given names would be Messiah Deshaun. So the issue was before the magistrate in order to determine the child's last name. Tennessee law does provide that when parents are married, the child's last name would be that of the father, and when the parents are not married, the child's last name would be that of the mother. These parents were simply seeking resolution of what the child's last name would be. The magistrate, in my opinion, took it upon herself to address an issue that was not, in fact, before her, that being the child's first name.
Right.
So she, so to speak, split the baby and chose to use the mother's surname as the child's first name.
Jacqueline, I can't tell you how I'm flabbergasted by this. You're a mother, I'm a mother. You know, we have the right to name our children what we name our children. What was your reaction when you heard this story?
I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I really did. I absolutely agree. I think everybody should have the right to name their children. And the fact that this judge took it upon herself to put her own religious views onto this mother, I think it's wrong. And I think that they are just extending the judicial power further than it should go.
I wonder, what is the legal recourse for these parents? Can they appeal this judge's decision, get it overturned?
Yeah, my understanding is that the mother is in fact appealing. So yes, they will go to the courts and hopefully this will be overturned.
Linda, is there any precedence for this? Have you heard of this before, particularly in your state?
No, there is no precedent that I am aware of. Name changes are fairly common. The state of Tennessee allows for name changes. If it is the name change for a minor, both parents have to petition the court. If it's a name change for someone who's reached the age of majority, then that individual can petition the court. What's unusual about this is that the parents were not the ones petitioning for a change of name. Rather, it came about simply because the judge, citing the best interest of the child, chose to change the name, which was not even an issue that was before this judge.
Linda, I know that you are not representing this family. I want to make that clear, but if you were, what's your advice to them?
My advice would be to appeal, because I think that they would be successful on appeal. There is clear law, both at the state level, that parents do have substantial leeway in parenting their children, and that would certainly include selecting the name for children, and that's backed by the Constitution as well. So clearly these matters are matters that are typically left to parents. The judge did mention the best interest of the child, but just to be clear, the best interest of the child is a legal standard that is intended to guide the discretion of the court, but you do not jump to best interest of the child on matters that are not before the court.
Mm-hmm. And I want to come back to this topic of best interest of the child, but Linda, let me ask you, what's been the community reaction there locally?
To the best of my knowledge, the community reaction has been a great deal of surprise and dismay at the ruling. Parents feel strongly that selecting the name of their child is their right. There are clearly some limits to the name of a child. For example, you would not be able to select something that were obscene, something that perhaps was being used to defraud a creditor, although that would be unlikely in the case of a minor, or just administratively, there may be limitations on the number of characters that a name can have, or not using certain symbols. But those would be reasonable administrative restrictions. Other than that, whether the name happens to be a title like Prince or King or Messiah or any other name, it would be within the parent's discretion.
Indeed. And Jacqueline, let me come back to you. You know, Linda brought up the whole issue of, you know, the judge's responsibility is to protect the best interest of the child. Is this sort of run amok in this situation? And how much subjectivity leeway does generally a judge have in a case where the best interest needs to be preserved?
I mean, I think the judge has absolutely run amok on this. You know, there is a lot of subjectivity. You know, best interest of the child may be something different to me, it may be something different to you. However, as was previously said, this wasn't before the judge. You know, so the judge went, you know, well beyond the bounds of where I think, you know, what they were being asked to do, and just took it upon herself. I'm
just curious, is some of our objection to this not just about, you know, the judge stepping in, and I got to do this very quickly, but is it also about the nature of the name? I mean, there was another case when parents were not allowed to name their child Hitler. Right. I don't know that there was outrage about this. Does this have to do with religion as well?
I think it does. I think there's not this separation of church and state, which is what's really important in our court system.
All right, we're going to have to stop it right there. Jacqueline Newman and Linda Ray Black, thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Debbie.
And thank you for watching Arise America. We'll be right back here tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.